Good afternoon, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader coming at you here on a Tuesday afternoon. I haven't had an update in a couple of days, and today I picked a bad day. Very red day, 7,300. Big red day today. I'm not really happy about that part. It's not as I don't know. It's not as bad as you maybe would think because yes, we lost 400 and some dollars on my Apex accounts, which sucks. But it is very recoverable, especially with the way I've been trading and the strategy. I just simply had a couple of red days. The good news today is I was up about 200 or exactly 200 on my take profit accounts and the Lucid accounts that I've got. So did revive those a little bit more. They're still not in a really good position, but we are at least have the drawdown above 500 bucks, which is nice. So if I risk 150 per trade, which is typically about what I do, sometimes less, but between 120 and 150 usually. So that means I've got about 3 trades. I could lose about 3 or 4 trades in a row before I blow those accounts. So, and on that note, on the Apex accounts, I mean I'd have to lose about 15 straight trades for these accounts to be blown. So anyway, that's kind of the. I don't like having a red day like this, but honestly, it was a day on the Apex side of things. It was a day of taking setups that look good, but if I really dive into my trading criteria, I was taking a lot of B and C setups, and that's why we ended up where we did. Also, on those setups, I got wick stopped on the very last trade, which was really, really sucky of the market to do, and it is what it is. It's not the market's fault. The market's the market. I just simply picked a bad spot, missed a trade, and so on and so forth. So anyway, that's where that's at. Let's look at trade, let's look at TradeZilla first. I think that might make the most sense. So here's today down 73.13, and on the month that puts us down probably 8 grand, 9 grand, maybe 8,700. So I've had a couple of bad red days. I've had 1, 2, 3 big red days this month, which is something I'm not really happy with, but it's something I got to work through. I did take a couple of trades on Friday. I said I wasn't going to trade, or I didn't really think I was going to take. I took a couple, had a paper cut there, and had a paper cut yesterday, just down a little bit. I was only trading the take profit accounts those 2 days, so down like 20, 30 bucks per day. But then today we had the unfortunate day that we did. So anyway, that's that. Let's dive into the trades themselves for a little bit here. Probably won't go through all of them. I did take a break and retest long this morning pre-market on the Russell on my take profit accounts. That resulted in a small loss there, I think maybe 140, 130. And then I took this short to the downside. That was a nice winning trade, up about 170 on that trade. And then I took this one here. I was really happy with my execution on this trade. I was looking for this as we had a nice break and retest. I almost took this one right after the open, but it wasn't enough there for me to take it. I just was like, I'm going to be patient. Oftentimes the Russell, if you pay attention to the Russell, you get a big move one direction and oftentimes a big pullback. And so I really didn't want to get in right away. And then we did this little kind of consolidation slide, and we retested right here, pushed out of it, pulled back down into this area. And basically what I was looking for here is here we had this pre-market high, almost this little pre-market high where I had taken the long trade that I got stopped out on. We retested that all the way through here, and we did a little wick down, and we retested it there. When that happens and we push back higher, that's when I took the long entry, and I got out of that trade for, I think that was about 180 bucks maybe on that trade. So, and that put those accounts back to green and solidly in the profit of about 200 bucks. So that's the day on Take Profit Trader. If I had stopped there, I would still be at full drawdown on my brand new accounts, which is kind of a bummer because now we lost about 450 on those accounts today due to this red day. So, but anyway, let's look at those trades really quickly. I might not walk through all of them, but this is just kind of how the day went. So this was the take profit trade, get out of that, and then we switched over to Apex, and we were holding this level. This is the third, let me see, today is Tuesday. This would have been the Friday low. I didn't mark highs and lows yesterday since it was only a half day. So this would have been Friday's low, and this would have been Thursday's low. When we broke and retested, we started to cleanly hold that. I felt like I really felt confident that trade wanted to go long, and that is a good setup for me. Unfortunately, got stopped out right there, and then the market continued to trend higher, which was really kind of a bummer. There again, I was right on the trade, but I was wrong on the trade. trade. I was right on it, but got stopped out. Took the long here as well at the when we broke the Friday high or Friday low of day. When we broke that, held it, took the long there. We did this made this little double top there. Not much of a move, but when that happened the second time, I moved my stop up to break even. I was glad I did. I did get stopped out break even. I'm okay with break even trades. You lose your commission and that's it. So then this is where I really got stopped out then for the day. I was looking at this. See this EMA cross? This is one of the prerequisites that I have for a trade. I really like when I have an EMA cross, and we had that after this rejected. And this whole area right here being sluggish was really sluggish on trying to move to the upside. And so when this rejected after this stop out and we had this EMA cross, I got really interested in this short. And I just didn't want to get too aggressive with the entry because I was trading above VWAP. I like taking shorts below VWAP. I like taking the longs above VWAP. In this case, we were above, and this really ended up being a B setup. But had I been in this trade when I wanted to, this would have been way better. So I watched these couple of wicks. Let's see if we can zoom in here so you can see this a little bit better. I was paying attention to these couple wicks right in here in these highs. And this green candle was building, and I looked at my phone, and I got a message, and I was checking my message, and I didn't look at my phone for about 20 seconds. And when I looked at my phone again, we were down here. So this candle just, boom, rapid drop to the downside, missed the entry. I would have wanted to get in somewhere right in there. Anywhere really from here to here is where I would have wanted to get in. Had I done that, today might have been different because we probably would have had a plus $300 positive trade and we would be back in the green. That was not what happened. I obviously missed that trade. I did decide to get in here thinking, well, we're probably just going to test this because we were starting to test this Thursday low, thinking, hey, we're probably going to drop to the downside. I feel good about this. I was, maybe a little bit too aggressive on trying to get in earlier, which was not the case. And as you can see, this market goes and stops me out literally right there to the tick. I mean, to the tick. Tickarooski stopped out, and we immediately went down, came back up, retested that area again, and then we dropped. And so really, really disappointed in that. But, it is what it is. You're going to have that. Some days it works, and some days it doesn't. Today was one of those days it didn't. Unfortunately, day one on the brand new Apex account, which really stinks. I don't like that. But, again, we just need to get back at it. So I took a couple trades on ES during the day as well. This was also on the Apex Apex accounts. And here again, this was the first time I had this level marked out between the 6890s there, about 6890, 6893s maybe. This basically this high and this high, which this was a previous level, but we respected it this morning at the open. And then during the day here, this was the first time we had actually cleanly tested that low. And that's what prompted me to get short right here. Get short, and immediately we get this push up. We get this nasty wick, push back down. I got in again. We pushed below VWAP, and then I moved my stop to break even right away. Got stopped out break even there. So two trades that really didn't work. And when I looked at this, and this is something I want to point out to you guys, if you're not using a journaling software like TradeZella, I highly recommend it. And here's kind of why. Let's see if I can find that trade. This would have been an ES trade. So it would have been page 2. That's the break-even loss. It would have been this trade right here. If you're not using a journaling software, like I felt like that was a pretty good trade. But when I really looked at this, this was really a C setup. Notice I wrote C setup here. And if you go to strategy, this is my criteria for a break and retest short. This is what this was, breaking and retesting a key level. We were not in a downtrend. Price was going sideways. We were not trading below VWAP. VWAP was down here. The EMA cross had not occurred yet. It was looking like it was occurring or being there, but it had not fully been created yet. And we were also, it did not have several wicks holding below the key level. The real only thing we did here is we had broken and retested this level right here. That's it. So this really was not a smart trade for me. So I can't be too disappointed. And the thing is, during the day when I watched price action, I thought this was a really nice setup. And there was really only one confluence going. I mean, you almost could say it was a D trade, A plus A, B, C. Well, I don't know, C or D, whatever. Bottom line is it wasn't a great setup. And I took it and I got stopped out, and that's why. So again, these are just, I have a big, strong belief that you need to have this journaling or a journaling, note-taking, something to go back later in the day and look at your trades. And on a day where you have a red day, to me, it's even more important than if it's on a green day. So anyway, I get a lot of value out of that. I highly recommend that for you as well. But yeah, those were a couple break-even trade, which is no big deal. But we did have the one loss there of about 120 bucks. So anyway, just a rough day. I am happy about the take profit accounts. I'm really, really glad about that. I'm going to build this back. I'm not worried about that. We're going to get this back that we lost today on the Apex accounts. Today was trading day 1 this week on Apex, so we can get that back. Here's the skinny on today, so down to 400 and then up on the take profit accounts and the Lucid accounts. So we are positive on the week on those and a little bit negative on the Apex ones. And again, hopefully by the end of the week, we've turned that back to green and all is good. So anyway, we'll leave you with that. Last but not least, I want to just say to you guys that are supporting the channel, A, thank you, but B, I am no longer affiliated with Apex. My channel is not big enough, and I just don't get enough commissions for them to maintain. So I'm a little bit sad about that. But if you've been using code BCT with Apex, please use someone else's code. I would recommend either Nutties or Alpines, but find someone else's code that you want to support rather than letting Apex have that. But in any case, I appreciate you guys supporting me through the last couple of years with the Apex affiliate code. Again, I was not making very much money at all, so it's not a big deal because it's not like I lost a lot. But just wanted to point out that I am no longer affiliated with Apex. It's something that they did on their part, and just appreciate you guys supporting me on Take Profit Trader, on Lucid, TradeZella, QuantGuard, etc. I do appreciate that very much. It does help me out in a little bit, and I appreciate that. So anyway, I got to cut this video. It's a little bit longer than what I anticipated, but appreciate you guys. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a good night, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.